So thank you so much for joining me. I am joined by Nadav and Aseel from one of the most buzzed about bands in recent years, as1. The group star in their own Paramount Plus documentary series, as1, the Israeli-Palestine Pop Music Journey, which explores their formation. The group have also released two powerhouse singles, All Eyes on Us, with none other than Nile Rodgers, an absolute legend, and the emotional number Stranger. So thank you so much, Nadav and Azil, for joining me. This must have been a total whirlwind for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew, first of all. And yes, it's been a really great ride, but also like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
It's been amazing.
But it's been fun. You're enjoying it.
Yes.
yeah, we're making our dreams come true. We both, before this project, really wanted to make it in the industry and wanted to make music for, our job.
Yeah.
And now we're finally doing it, and it's not an easy thing to do. This industry is devastating, so we're lucky to just do it.
Yeah.
We're very happy.
Amazing. So I presume you've watched the documentary back. Is it strange seeing part of your life, a huge part of your life, documented in like four episodes?
It's triggering. I feel like we saw the show a little bit before it went out,
Mm.
before it went up to Paramount Plus, and we were like, wow, because we've been through a lot in this period of time. When we moved here, and it showed a little bit before we moved here, so it just all together, it was very shocking to us. But then when we watched it again, we were like, wow, thank God there were cameras there to capture like the process and the journey and like really
Yeah.
what we've been through, because we have a unique story when it comes to our just us together during these times and how we got over obstacles together as a band,
Yeah.
and to see like the connection of music and also to see creation of music and art. um we were very lucky that we had these cameras around us. At the beginning, the whole show was supposed to be a nice story about a few guys moving to LA, and trying to make it work, and it just became something much deeper and give much more inspiration.
Yeah. And it's amazing actually because as you say, it starts off episode one, it's boot camp, it's auditions, it's all about the band and the formation, and then obviously nobody could have expected the events of October 7th, and then episode two onwards it takes a bit of a shift. Um,
Yeah.
what were your kind of thoughts about that? Because obviously I'm guessing you knew that it was going to be a documentary about the making of the band. When it kind of took on a slightly more like current events, political tone due to sort of the events. How did
Mhm.
that make you feel?
I mean, to be honest, it's really some of the things that we are lucky to go through together. Like it's unfortunate for all of the world to go through something like that, and we are probably the only ones that lived together at this time that are different, Israeli and Palestinian, living in the same house and experiencing firsthand the effects of how politics can do to what politics can do to people. But I think like for each of us was a whole different experience, a whole different thought process, and in the end, we had a lot of arguments about all of these things about what we wanted to do. Also, it affected how we wanted to present ourselves. But in the end, what happened is that music was at the first priority. Every time we had an argument, after that, we also had to go to make some new song, something that is artistic. And we had this opportunity to have that together so we can share the emotions. This is where we are one. This is where we are as one. It's the emotions. It's the things that we are feeling as humans and all of the things that bring us together, which is beautiful. And when we are making music, it makes us see that. It makes us want to hug each other and say, okay, we're feeling the same thing. We have different experiences. And it's amazing to see how that brought us together even farther. It was a hard thing at the beginning. We thought I had the question of like, it's either gonna bring us together or break us apart. What's gonna happen? And just because of the music and just because of us being together as one, it brought us so much closer. It brought us so much stronger, and we had even better ideas and to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
That was Yeah.
Yeah, I think you really get that sense of the togetherness as a band in the final episode when you are performing to your friends and family. It's a really quite emotional moment because it's, you've had your arguments and you've had all these kind of amazing experiences together as well. And then it all culminates in this really nice, positive moment of sharing and actually showing how good you guys are as a band.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
Yes,
that was an amazing experience that day. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it quite overwhelming having all the eyes of family and friends watching you? Because I suppose they probably didn't know how good you were as a group. I'm sure they all knew individually that you were great, but seeing you all together must have been quite like a nerve-wracking experience for you as performers.
Yeah, I feel like it was first of all just the performance element of it. Like just to perform, it was our first real performance in front of an audience after we moved here and like
Yeah.
singing the original songs we wrote in LA. So it was just like a first in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
And we landed in Israel and we didn't see our families for like a
Mhm.
week before we performed to them. So we were like there, but the only time we saw them was on stage.
Yeah.
Like, and they were in the audience, and we couldn't really get to them. So
Oh, it's tough.
it was very emotional because you have
Yeah.
to sing and do, and you can even hear a little bit how we are, like a little emotional
Yeah.
when we were on stage. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, and we can't wait to perform more and to do it more. And we
Yeah.
will. Stay tuned on our Instagram
Yeah.
and our social media. We're gonna announce there everything. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up, and this moment in particular was just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been sneaky because I've heard the EP already and it's great. Really, really enjoyed it. I want to know what of all the tracks on there are you most excited for everyone to hear?
The hardest
Every each one
question.
of them.
The hardest question.
Because for us, as you saw also in the docu-series, they're all teased there and they all
Yeah.
have their own story. And it's for us, it's just each one of them has an actual color inside our minds. Each one of them, we see a color when we think of them, and also we feel an emotion. We go back to those experiences that we were having on that day.
It depends on the
So
time of the day.
that
Sometimes
too.
it really depends. Sometimes it will be together as one. Sometimes it will be like stranger. It has to
Yeah.
be a moment. There's a
Yeah.
moment for each song.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All your children. You can't
Oh,
choose a favorite. I've got to say, I really like Together as One. That stands out for me, and I think Aseel, your rap on that is really
Okay.
killer. It's great.
Oh,
But yeah, that stood out. But I mean, All Eyes on Us, what a debut! Nile Rodgers, an absolute legend. What was that moment like when you found out, okay, you're going to have Nile on the track with you?
oh my God. We had to fly to Abbey Roads to record with him. So even with the experience of working with a legend, we had to be working in a legendary place.
yeah.
It was just overwhelming for us to see all of these, legendary, all of these golden things coming up to
Yeah, you
here.
could see I had a meltdown right after.
But it's beautiful because also we have Ohad, which is a guitar. He's a guitarist and also like a singer, of course. But he'd been a fan of Nile for a really long time,
Yeah.
and for him it was even a whole different experience. That to the point when we were recording with him, they just jammed together. And Nile Rodgers gave him the guitar, his guitar. Nile Rodgers' guitar gave to Ohad, and Ohad was like, "What am I gonna do with this?"
No, but now he's such a superstar. Like
Yes.
even like regardless to just the honor to be working with him, to learn from him was an amazing experience because
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
we're in the beginning of our journey and our way, and he gives the best
Yeah.
tips and advice, and he's such a supporter of the group, and he's such a believer in us, and it was
Yeah.
just to see this and learn from him while he's recording the guitars on our track, and give his input on anything.
Yeah.
It was just remarkable.
Also, I think Nile Rodgers being on the track has added so many things that are unexpected.
Yeah.
So it added, other than being just an amazing guitar on the track, an amazing sound to it, an amazing name to it, it
Yeah.
also added the fact that we had to fly we started recording it in Tel Aviv, and then we went to London to record it with Nile Rodgers, and then we had to even when we came here, we had to record even more, and that was all in the span of how much? A year, a whole year.
Yeah.
So we started like in 2023 in January or February when we were recording it, and then we flew on July, and then came here on October and started to record it. So it's just an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I think that that's really interesting because you have obviously been working and rehearsing and recording long before the public were aware of as one as a concept. Was that really tough to kind of have that pent up where you just like you want to share with everyone what you're doing, but you kind of have to wait till dates line up?
There's so much waiting involved in our journey because at the beginning it was boot camp. So we were at boot camp, and then after we got the answers, it was like 2 months of waiting, which you could see we were also like we were so nervous to get answers. And after we got answer that we are in the group, we waited a year in Israel to move to LA just like to become a cohesive group.
Yeah.
Like we were like, are we ready to move? We were not ready to move. And then when we were finally ready, we moved, and then it was October 7th, and then everything was just got delayed. We couldn't just put music out as fast as we wanted to. But we believe that everything has a reason because we got much better and we got more mature as a group. We are more united, and I feel like now we're really ready for everything that's really gonna come. So we are, everything has a reason, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're right. Um, let's think about boot camp because that sounds intense. If you think like what 2,000 people and then narrowed down and then narrowed down again to the last sort of 20, was that a really intense sort of, I guess you must compare yourself to everyone else. You must be thinking, oh, he sounds great, or like he's an amazing dancer. Is it quite tough to be in that environment with so many people that are all wanting the same job?
It's definitely had a sense of competition.
Yeah.
It definitely has had like the sense of stress that I want to win, I want to get this. But as soon as we got there, honestly, from my personal experience, I feel like all of us had this very open dialogue and open, what is it called, open trial with each other, that we felt there wasn't an actual competition. There was an actual working together
Yeah.
to find the best representation of these 20 guys.
I would say very different than like what usually a competition is like if you compare it like to competitions outside. It was not competitive that much.
Exactly.
Like because you know all the 20 guys that were in boot camp, like we even like we kept on in touch afterwards after like
Okay.
the boot camp was over, and we were like talking about it, and we all wanted it very much, but there was just like a feeling that like who's gonna get it is deserving it. It was very complimentary. Everyone really like was happy for one another, and everybody came with a different story. It was interesting. It was hard for some of us at the beginning, but then like we all became friends and it was cool. So
Felt much more teamworky.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a competition. So
Yeah.
Well, the worry is that they form a rival band to as one. You know, you have to be careful. Well, I need to ask, obviously, I know Israel is a huge, huge fan of Eurovision as a people, or the Israelis. Um, would there ever be the chance for as one to represent Israel? I know Nadav, obviously, you took part in the Next Star, it's 2019.
Yeah.
So you came close. Would there be any interest in doing that?
I feel like I want to say about just Eurovision in general, it's all started because they wanted to unite people through music.
Yeah.
So I think as a concept is an amazing concept. And I, we don't want to say never, but also
But so the thing is, for us as a band, we represent music first. We
yeah.
came together. I mean, I am a Palestinian that lives in Israel, but a Palestinian, and he's an Israeli. But we came together to represent the music, and this is where all of us agreed to in the beginning, and this is what all of us are doing right now. And so thinking of representing any country, either it's Palestine, either it's Israel, as a band, in my head does not work because it's or also for the band it does not really work as a you know as a actual force of what the band stands for. It can be very dividing in the end because if you represent Israel as a Palestinian, it's not really received well, and it's not doesn't really make sense that much because of what's
Yeah.
happening and what we go through as Palestinians, and it's
Yeah, it
the
needs to be
same.
fair for Aseel and
Yeah.
Sadiq as well.
Yeah, but
So
also it needs to be fair for the band itself. The
yeah,
band itself represents music first,
yeah.
and we're gonna represent music first. If we ever get the chance, I wanna maybe tell the Eurovision to do this. Represent like have someone to represent international.
We
Yeah, I
would
like that.
represent international
Yeah.
anytime.
I mean, I'll just put it forward and say, come and represent the UK. We love you guys. So, do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, so you obviously spoke about recording in the UK, recording at Abbey Road. I need to ask, did you do the traditional tourist thing of recreating the Beatles photograph outside Abbey Road?
We did.
Ah.
Yeah, we were like, are we gonna fall into this and do it like everyone's done? And we were like, gonna do it. We
Yeah,
just
Um,
you can't stop it from
it's
yourself.
in the show. It's
Yeah.
there. You can see the flag.
do you have any fond memories of your time here, or was it very much just you're here to record and then back home?
It was very mixed. We had like a day that we kind of like looked at, like we traveled in London and we saw a little bit around, but we it just gave us a taste for more. We had
Yeah.
to come back. It was a
Yeah.
place with amazing experiences, and we can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I would also love to ask about living together because that must be quite tough. Like six of you all in one place. And can you let me into any secrets? Who's the messiest? Who's the noisiest?
Well,
Well,
I feel like the messiest and the noises are not here now.
exactly. But they're
No,
not here to defend themselves.
yeah. But we would say I would say Asil is the most he's like the responsible one.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
he's the organized one. I would say that for sure.
not by like cleaning and all that, but the organized, just
Yeah,
the schedules and stuff.
yeah,
And Nadav is the cooker, you can say. He's the best cook, and also Sadiq is a really
yes.
good cook,
Gives a
but
good
they
fight.
just love to cook. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are surviving okay on your own. If it was the rest that were less, they would be stuck.
Yeah, we're a good team, me and Asil. We manage.
So how has the reaction to the documentary been? I noticed in there was talk about social media, and you all have your own individual social medias as well as band social media, and you had moments where you spoke about posting statements and things. Do you kind of lock yourself off from looking at the comments, or do you kind of check in, or I know it's easier said than done to say I won't look at the comments because when they're there, it's very tempting, isn't it?
We're very different in this element as well. I feel like Asil,
I am very easily tempted and
yeah,
easily falling down to this. I love
Yeah.
the.
I don't.
Yeah.
I prefer like because a lot of there's a lot of hate in this world
Mm.
in the world right now in this period of time, and although there's a lot of good comments, and usually I will read them through my like direct messages. I will see a lot of and they are like very just hopeful and happy of what we're doing. So they'll direct message, they'll
Yeah.
text us personally, and then it's an amazing to see and to see the impact. But when it's out there publicly on like publication and people just comment stuff that are ignorant, I'm like, why would I ruin my day with it?
Yeah.
I just don't like to watch it.
Yeah. That differentiates me from him, where when I look at these comments, especially the ones that are, that just came here just to hate without really Googling who we are, these don't really annoy me. What I actually care about when I look at the comments and why I love the comments is because some of these, even hateful comments, they can have an actual sense to them. And we are, as a band, it's pretty tough to say the message without sounding like we stand out, we stand with one side.
Yeah.
We both have come from different sides, and we only want music and peace. And for us, it's hard to actually say that without making mistakes, without making different than what people expect. And so when I look at the comments, sometimes they actually say points that point me to the direction where, okay, this is where we could have done better. And one of these things are shown in the docu-series, and where we saw the Billboard article, and in the comments, one said that the band is not an Israeli-Palestinian band; it's from Israel. Please correct that. And I'm like, because they put on their Instagram that, and this is what he said, and I'm like, that is true.
Yeah.
We are an Israeli-Palestinian band. If on the Instagram it says from Israel, it's not gonna be an actual. It's not gonna show the truth of as one. And so we changed that. And
Mhm.
sometimes they can guide. The comments are sometimes good. So
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Um, that's we need to remember as well. You guys are not politicians. You're artists, and I think it's very unfair to kind of point that level of anger at you guys because actually, you're out there trying to unite, trying to spread positivity. So, well done for kind of pushing through because it's not easy.
The
yeah,
real reason we're together is because we're good musicians that works as musicians very well.
Yeah.
So our hope and goal is that one day it will go back to be a passive element of the group because at the we get it and we can't avoid it. But we, as you said, we're not politicians, we're musicians. So we have no idea for what is the solution is and what is right or wrong. We're just making music and writing our emotions down on a paper, sing it out, and this is what we do. And
yeah,
um, it's heartbreaking to see that the dividedness, how do you say it? Dividedness?
division.
Division.
Yeah,
Oh, and it's heartbreaking to see the division, even when it comes to music. So yeah,
yeah,
we're trying to do better at this just to show the world that some stuff can unite people, and this is at the end what we're standing for. So yeah, yeah.
On the subject of emotion and emotion in songwriting, can we talk about Stranger? Because that's quite an emotional track. And obviously, you can apply the lyrics to so many different parts of your life and everyone's own experience. What was the kind of meaning behind the song for you guys?
I mean, we wrote Stranger on a very specific time here in LA that we were like here for a while and we really missed home. And we wrote it about we might be strangers when we go back. We just didn't we were not in our homes for so long and everything changed in the region massively and with all the war starting
yeah,
everything is different and everything's changed. So we were like, we might go home and feel strangers and, see the country that we love so much and just the homes that we love so much and be like, wow, it's not the same. It's not, I don't
yeah,
feel the same belonging.
Yeah.
So it's about that. And yeah, it can seem like it's a love story between like two people that, they might like about just love and relationship. And a lot of our songs are like that. You can see the double meaning in every song. It can be a love song, but it also can be something that is deeper. And at the end, this is what we want to do. We
yeah,
want everyone to relate in their own way to the songs. But Stranger in particular, it's about that. It's about just missing
yeah,
home.
Yeah. Um, Obviously, on the subject of missing home, Los Angeles and Israel, very different places, very different cultures, very different people and behavior. Um, what what struck you the most about the kind of the differences of being in LA compared to being in Israel?
You drive everywhere.
it
It's like massive. Everything
is
is
massive. Yeah,
so big. Everything is huge. Like you have to drive 10, 15 minutes everywhere you want to go. This is
yeah.
very different.
That's the minimum.
That's the
10,
minimum.
15
Yeah,
minutes.
Yeah.
Even
you
to
can't you
the
can't walk. Yeah,
Can't walk. And even if you walk, people look at you like you're a weirdo. It's like, why is this man walking in the middle of the street? Like, what's happening?
yeah,
So yeah, but the great and amazing thing about Los Angeles is the fact that all the music, like not all, but a lot of the music and a lot of the creative
yeah,
people, um, we 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 were so lucky to work with such an amazing producers and writers that are based in LA, and you know to see like the most historical recording studios that like our favorite songs were recorded in, and to go into the
Yeah.
studios and see all these people on the wall is just,
Yeah.
it's so empowering, like to really feel like you're in this
Mm.
place making your dream come true. It's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
like a creative waterfall.
Yeah.
You can see the
Yeah.
flow is just amazing. The flow falls down with gravity very quick. Yeah.
Yeah, you're part of something big.
Yeah.
Um, a few more questions and then I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. Um, I'd be really interested to talk about when we see you in the documentary at the gym and there's a camera cruise and there's
But you
like
need
the
to build
girls that
up.
come up
Yeah.
and they kind of they're like kind of round honey. They're so excited. Is there a lot of that now that you're kind of out there, people want to kind of be involved and be around you?
It's not a question to ask you because you never leave the room.
Exactly. So I was about to say you're gonna ask him because for
um,
me, I am always in my room. I'm always on my computer. I don't really.
You're hard at
honestly,
work.
cool to be recognized by your music and by your art. That was very, very cool. And it's amazing, like to see people that reach out and, just say, I saw the documentary or
Yeah.
I heard your single. This is incredible. The scene in the gym, it was, when we just were filming the actual show. So a lot of people will just reach out just because they saw camera crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like for me it's like I said something about like I
Yeah.
hope we'll get real attention just because and this is the attention that we wanna get. We wanna get the attention for sure, like everyone
Yeah.
wants, but for the music, for the work, and not just for being like oh, there's a camera crew. Let's
Yeah.
like there's famous people there. Let's just
Yeah.
go see what's going on there. So yeah, now it's amazing. Now it's incredible to see people reach out and just like, oh, I heard your single. Oh, I love your story. And
People reach out to you usually in the gym too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be working out and in the gym, which is funny. I didn't think about that, but
Yeah.
it's like in the gym, people will come and be like, I just watched your documentary, or I'll just listen to Stranger, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is what I wanted.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to finish up with just a couple of questions, and if you guys could tell me which member of the band this most applies to. So, most likely to be late.
Oh,
Sadiq,
Sadiq. Not most
Mo
likely to be late. He's
you're
always late.
late. You'll be
always.
late.
Like 100% late.
Who is the most likely to forget plans?
Neve.
Eve.
Also Neve, yeah.
We love everything.
He forgets everything, yeah.
Who is most likely to say something inappropriate by accident?
Probably you, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things, yeah.
me.
You've been good this interview. You've not said anything inappropriate.
I was
You-
lucky this time, but yeah.
You've been
Um,
working on it.
who is the funniest?
Sadiq
Sadiq
is
also,
funny.
yeah,
Sadiq is funny.
yeah.
They're all funny. Like me and you are the least funniest, I think.
Exactly.
We're
That's
like the
true.
most serious.
Yeah.
We're like very serious about it, and like when it's like work time and we're together, we're like so. And
Yeah.
they're like they can be little clowns.
But
Um,
Yeah, in a good way, of course.
yeah.
the biggest daredevil.
What is that?
Like they
Um,
take risks.
yeah, the risker. I
Ohad
think,
is kind of Ohad and Neve.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I could say, yeah.
But wait, in what element? In what
In
Well,
general, but
in
the
general?
most challenging, the most, the person that loves challenge and loves to just do stuff out of nowhere, hard stuff.
Hmm. So
I
maybe not
think,
Ohad and Eve, or yes, Ohad and Eve. I don't know.
I do think Ohad does have that,
Ohad,
but sometimes Neda does too.
Neta, yeah,
Yeah, that's a good question. The Daredevil one is that's a really good one. I
yeah,
don't know exactly which one
yeah.
to say.
Neta, I would say Neta. Neta will just pick a violin and be like, "Yeah, I want to learn how to play a violin." So yeah,
Yeah,
I guess Neta.
yeah.
I think I know this one now. The best cook. There you
And
go.
Sadiq too.
And
They're equal.
yeah,
They're.
very different cooking, but
Yeah.
we
What's
both cook.
what's your speciality?
I cook a lot of, and also Sadiq, by the way, like we just cook our food from home, like very Middle Eastern food. very influenced by the Moroccan, Algerian, Jewish food, and like, big stews and
Yeah.
khubeh, and just a lot of traditional food. And Sadiq as well is making his food from home, like the Bedouin community, and the Arab community as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, guys, thank you so much. It's honestly been so fun talking to you, and I know you've done so many interviews. You've been everywhere, so I really appreciate you doing one more for me. So, good luck with
fine.
the EP. Good luck with the eventual tour. I'm hoping soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, um,
So
thanks for
much.
taking the time to talk.
I appreciate that. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much,
you for your
Andrew.
time. It was fun.
Good,
Yes.
thanks, guys.